Hi there. It's good to see you again. We're here in the beautiful rainy weather today, but I thought we would do just a nice little mountain scape kind of in the woods, maybe with some distant mountains, and show you how to make some reflections and just some water, and we're going to make it happen today. So y'all come along. Just going to go tap that 2-inch brush right into a little bit of the phthalo blue. Let's come right up here. Just doing little X strokes. Let's just vary. Let's just vary where we're putting it today. Remember, we want to keep the top much darker and come straight across, straight across. And you will wind up with all kinds of cool little character in your sky here. And you can blend it however you see fit. Oh, there's our little blue sky. We already have some character in it. Already got some dark and light things happening there because you need the dark and the light. So let's see here. Just knock off some of that paint on the brush. Now we're back in business. So I want some clouds up in my sky today. So we're going to grab some of the titanium white, just right on the tip of the brush there. And take this big old 2-inch brush. Let's see. Wherever you want it. Wherever you want it. Make you some clouds. Remember, a lot of this will be kind of covered up because we're going to put in the foreground and have some things going on up in here, but you can make different layers. You can even do some swirling around here. Kind of get everything blended in. Hopefully y'all can see this. We're just going to make a couple of layers of clouds today. You want it to kind of come in a circular motion. Remember, clouds, they like to float up in the sky there in that circular motion. And when you knock some excess paint off there, just come right over the top of it. Just kind of sets it back into the sky there. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool how that works? Just set it right back into the sky. I think I want to come in with another little layer of clouds here. I might do some circular motion on these. I want these to be a little bit brighter, so we're gonna leave them a little bit brighter as we blend it on the top there. Remember, this is your world when you're doing this, so you just make it however you feel like you want to make it. You're in total control here. But as we know in life, God's in control. So this is one of the few areas that we are in control. Making some extra layers here. Making all kind of things happen. We're getting some much needed rain. I want to show you a little cool brush here that I've come up with. It's called a hake brush. I'll show you here. So this brush right here, it is so soft, and you can blend into fine detail here without messing anything up. So very gentle, just making some nice smooth strokes here. Very gentle. Come across. Set it back into the sky. I love how that works. So, all right. Now, what's the next thing we're going to do? So now we got the beautiful sky there. Now we're going to start with some distant mountains. So for this, we want to come in with our old palette knife here. I'm going to mix just a little bit of the dark brown there. It's a Van Dyke brown and some black. I'm just going to make a nice darker color and maybe add in just a little bit of the white into this. Just like that. Maybe a little bit of the alizarin crimson in there. Maybe a little bit more white. Maybe a little bit of this blue. Mix you up a nice, good little pile. Drag it straight out, all the way flat. Flat as you can make it. Cut you off a little row of paint right there. See how you got the little row of paint right on there? We're gonna come right up. So where do we want to start the mountains at? Let's start them right here. Remember, you make the mountains how you want to make them here. Just think about how mountains are structured. And remember, we're not worried about any of this middle ground here. We're just worried about the very top of the mountain. All right, I just want to scrape off as much as we can there. All right, clean off the old knife here. I'm going to take the large 2-inch brush. We're going to come up here and we're going to start dragging it down. This does a couple of things here. This allows us to start creating the shape and form of our mountain, and it also removes excess paint. Removes some of the excess paint that would otherwise make it hard for us to create the highlight colors on here. Look, just with a couple of brush strokes here, we've already got the shape and form of our mountain. So which way is this mountain, which way is the light going to be coming in here? Let's see. So what we want to do, I'm going to add in, I'm going to make some white I'm going to do a little bit of the Van Dyke brown here. I'll just mix all these colors. So it's kind of a, leave it kind of like a marbled color right there. Cut you off a little row of paint. Let's come right up here. You don't really even want to be touching the canvas here. You just want to so gently, just want the paint. You just want the paint basically to be touching the canvas here. That way it'll make all these little holes and ridges in here. And it'll look like rocks. And remember, you create the angles here. Follow the angles of the mountain. Follow the angles of the mountain. Maybe we got a little bit right there. Or we're going to come back in here, and because every highlight needs a shadow, so we're going to make a little shadow color. Maybe there's a little bit of light shining on it right there. Good deal. All right. I'm almost holding this knife just like this because I'm just trying to barely graze it here. Allow it to break. There we go. All right, so now what do we have to do? We have to make a little shadow color. So we're going to take some of the blue, a bit of the brown, make it just a little bit darker here. Like we'll leave it kind of marbled. Little row of paint. Let's come right back up. Remember, think about your angles. Think about the angles here. Which way are you wanting it to look like it's going? Think about the angles. And start making it have that 3D look. All right. Maybe have some kind of out in the middle there. And if you don't like something, just come right back and change the angle. Because you can make it however you want it. That's how I want my angles on that one. And if you don't like the color you've chosen for this, just come right back in and change the old color. But for right now, I think I like that. We're going to add in a little bit of darker black color. Little row of paint. Not a whole lot of light getting to this side here. All right, just kind of barely tap and touch. Add in all kind of little things to that. Give it some character. Give it some character. Maybe there's not a whole lot that gets into these little crevices here. All right. There we go. can change the angles. It will here. Total control over this. Amazing. It's amazing what you can do with just a little stroke, little different stroke of it. All right, so I think we got the mountain just about like how I want it here. Maybe a little bit of variation. I know, like we said on other episodes here, I could spend all day just trying to perfect this mountain how I want it. But you know, we got to move on to some other stuff. So let's see here. One of the things that we want to do is we want to create this layer of mist at the mountains, and that'll create that distance that we've been talking about. So let's come in here and let's knock the old paint off. Now we're back in business here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the liquid white medium that we put on here. I'm gonna come in here. Make sure you're following the angles. And similar to how we put on the clouds, you're creating this layer of mist here. You kind of want it to be a circular pattern when you come up here. And if you wanted to add in just a little bit more of the white, knock a little bit of paint off that, and come in here, make it look a little bit more like fog coming up through here. Add a little bit more of the liquid white in here. All right, then we smooth it out. Good deal. All right, so now we're gonna start bringing it down here. So let's knock a little bit of this paint off. So what colors? We want to start like we're looking at a little bit farther of a distance away. So we want to start creating. Let's do a little bit of the blue and the alizarin crimson mixed together. I don't know if y'all can see this on my palette here. Maybe add in a little bit of green, and a little bit of black. If you can hear my kids in the background, that's because they're a bunch of wild crazies in there. It's still summertime, and they get bored really easy. So I'm sure you can identify with that as well. So, all right. So we got the mixture, almost like a lavender, like a dark lavender color. I'm gonna come in with a 2-inch brush here. Remember, these are far away in the distance. You just tap them into the brush here. Oh, we kind of think like, where do we want these? Where do we want this hill to come down here? I want it right there. And if you want to add in a little bit more, I think I want a little bit more green into it. There you go. Just smash it in there. You can totally change the angle here too. You can change it, make it come up. All right. But be careful you don't lose this mist that we've created behind here, because that'll give it that distance. And just like before, we want to come right up here. We want to just very, very gently have that illusion of the little treetops up there. You can even come down and create another little layer right in front of that. There we go. Just like that. And then, with a dry 2-inch brush, you come in, create another little misty area right underneath here. We're just using the top of the brush. Just the top. And then take the brush strokes out, just bring it up. Just like that. There we go. Just like that, we've created another layer. We've got the distant trees back there. Now we're going to start bringing them forward a little bit. So to do that, I'm going to add in just a little bit more that same color, but I'm going to use some of the black. Just make it a little darker. Make sure maybe a little bit more of the green. Just tap it in there. Get a lot of paint on the brush. All right. So I'm going to add in one more little layer here. All right, bring it up, very, very gently. Very gently, we're bringing it up, making those little treetops. All right. Come back in, top of the brush. Just hitting the bottom. Create that misty area. Okay, good deal. All right, now we got a couple of layers here. So I'm going to start bringing us a little bit farther forward here. So what I'm going to do, we're going to a little bit of the liquid white. We're going to bring it into some of the green, some of the yellow. Whew. All right. Let's start creating the lay of the land here. This is just going to be a little field, distant field. And I think we're going to bring it down into some water here. All right. Okay. So, all right. We're just going to tap some of that blue. Let's bring it right down here. We just want a little bit of water. We're just making a lake today. bring some of that green color right down into it. And it's very important though to bring it straight down. Bring it straight down. I'm going to add a little bit of white into that in the center. Give it a sheen like the sun is shining off of it there. And you can continue to set this thing back as far back as you want it. Make it look like it's a distant lake back there. Add in a little bit more white. Whoop. There we go. And then look. Knock a little bit of that off. And then straight across that way. Instant water reflection. You gotta love how that works. You gotta love that. We just created a mountain lake instantly with this method. It's one of the best things about this method. All right. I want to add in a little bit of land here. So for that, we're going to take a little bit of the Van Dyke brown, a little bit of this black color. We're going to lay in the dark. Where does this land come around here? All right. Just like that, we have created a little bank. And then we're going to come back in and take a little bit of the white, some of the burnt sienna, create a little marbled highlight reflection here. So look, cut off a little row of paint, come right over the top of it. Just let it break just how we do the mountains. Created a little bit of rock here. Just that easy. Just that easy. We have a little bit of bank. So let's come back through with this brush here. We'll drag a little bit of that down into here, kind of shore up the water line a little bit. Come straight down, remember, straight down. And then straight across. Straight across. There we go. Now we have our reflection. We got a little lake we've just set in the mountains there. So I'm gonna take this brush back here again. Well, you know what? Let's clean this one off. I want to come in and do a little bit of finer detail work. Whew. I had a lot of paint on it. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get these things cleaned off here. Now we're back in business. All right. I'm going to take one of the 1-inch landscape brushes here. We're going to go back into a little bit of this green and yellow mixture. We're just going to create a little grass over the top of it here. And set it down and set it right down in there. And by pushing straight up like this, you can give the illusion that it's grass coming in back there. And so this kind of looks like it made a little muddy mess there. Watch this and come right back in. Just short right back up. No big deal. There's nothing that you cannot fix with this method. It will work for you. Let it work for you. All right. Clean off the old knife there. Come back in here. Shore up the water line again. And I'll show you another way we're going to shore it up that'll make it look even better. There we go. All right. Make sure you're coming straight across, straight down and straight across, because if you don't, it just won't look right. All right. So, I'm going to make sure this knife is nice and cleaned off here. We're going to create us a little water line. So, we're going to come into a little bit of this white, just cut straight through it. So there's just a little bit of white on there, and on with the heel of it, you just create a little water line, and this is what this light area just kind of separates the dark and the light here. It kind of shows where the land begins and the water ends. If I said that right. You know, I really appreciate everybody that watches this. This is something that's been very beneficial to me over the last year or so. You know, and it's been a way that I can come and just clear my mind. And I'm hoping that you might be able to find the same kind of peace that I've felt through the painting. So I just want to kind of give back and glorify God through that. So again, I appreciate everybody who takes their time to watch. And y'all go get started. Go get some supplies, and y'all go get some supplies and just try to get to painting yourself. Like what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come in with this small little fan brush here. Grab a little bit of this. I love yellow ochre. The yellow ochre color it's amazing. Add a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow ochre, and come in here and create a little bit of grass and give that illusion that there's some grass growing in here. Like it's growing way back there. One of the reasons why I'm not doing the foreground yet here is because I'm gonna add in a big tree on this side, and we're gonna bring it down across here, and I'll show you how that looks here in just a minute. All right. Looking good. I like the way it looks here. And just to set everything back here, I'm gonna add in just a couple of little trees off in the distance here, so we can kind of give some perspective of the distance back to that tree line back there. Okay, good deal. So for that, we're gonna come into some dark color here. Grab some of the brown, some of the black, just mix it up nice, drag it through. See that? Sharp point. We're gonna come on this side here. Right there is a little evergreen tree out in the distance. Out in the distance. Almost have a little Z pattern as you're coming down. And we got a couple of little evergreen trees out there. Heck, let's make another one. Just want to make sure you have a pretty good amount of paint on your brush when you're making these evergreen trees, because it's you want that paint to come over the top of the other paint, so you need quite a bit. Make a little one way out there, and then you know what? Let's make a little bit larger one here. We might cover up that one there. Who knows? That we just made. Yeah, let's cover that one up. Make this one a little larger. Make it sit right on the edge of that right there. I like how that looks. Good deal. Oh, we want to come back into some of that bank color that we made here. Some of the bank color. And cut off a little row of paint here. We'll come up here. We'll just touch. Make us some little tree trunks here. Gives it a little extra indication that there's something going on back here. And we'll put some highlight color over that. All right. Good deal. Well, one of the things that I'm going to do here is we're going to come right back through. Let's use the little fan brush here that we were using for the grass. Just kind of get you a good amount on there. Come right back here. Let's give a little highlight. And we're going to come into a lot of this black here and the brown. Just pull it straight through. Pull it straight through. You got that little rounded angle there. You say, where's my tree going to come in? I'm going to make just a regular leaf looking tree. There it is. We're just dropping our tree in there. And maybe there's several trees. And that's pretty large. Now look how easy it is with this method though, just adding in all the color here, the dark color that we need to create the light highlights. And so you decide how you want to do it. I'm going to make mine come all the way across. Come all the way across the bottom. All right, because you need the dark. You need the dark to create the light. So we're going to add a little bit of liquid white I'll come in here to some of this color here. I'm just mixing them all on the brush. Kind of push them down, just like that. Let's see. Tell you what, before we do this, let's come in here, a little bit of the tree trunk color here and just create some tree trunks that are growing through here. And most of these will be covered up, but we just want to create the illusion that there's some tree trunks all in here, because this is more than one tree. It's just all in there. Hopefully you can see that. And we'll come back through and put the highlights on. All right, good deal. All righty. Now we'll come back through here. Just the corner of my brush. You want to leave a lot of the black in here and make it look a little bit more realistic. Just working in layers here. Think how a tree would think. All right. Come back a little bit with this. There's a little bush right there. There's a little bush right there. We're just creating a little bit of grass. A little bit of grassy area coming across. Let's vary the color a little bit. Let's add in a little bit of red. Oh yeah. And some red bushes growing in there. Maybe there's one right there. That looks good. Just vary your colors up. Mix them right on here. And one thing I've learned to do as well is you can come in here and create grass with the knife. And I like how that looks. It looks pretty good. Now, come in here, make sure the knife's clean. Just come in with the heel of it and drive it up. You can create some grass growing up into there. Grab you some color on it, and that'll set it back. I'll set it back in there. Look how that looks. I love how you can do that. You can create the illusion of depth in there. I'm just kind of smacking it on there. Where does it go? Up here. All right. Good deal. And create some grass into here. Just kind of sets everything back and let's layers build into there. I like how it looks. One thing you can do too is you can come back and you can add flowers onto this. You can add some nice little flower colors, which I've done that recently on a few of my paintings. I like how it looks. Okay, looking pretty good here. Looking good. Create something bulging out of there. You can come in here and create some limbs. Just using the little corner of your knife there. All right. I don't really like how this came out right here, but let's look and see how we can fix that. So I want to give it I want there to be a big old red looking bush that comes up into there. So I'll go back into some more of the liquid white and just mix it up. Mix it up. You just want to push into there. Just whoop, very lightly. Just tapping. Give it the illusion like there's a big old red bush growing up there. I like that. You don't like how something looks, you can just change it. Oh, now there's a red bush up in there, and we can create some little leaves like it's growing up there. You see how that works? And this will cutting right down into the white part of the canvas there. It'll kind of give it that illusion that there's some little twigs and sticks and everything growing in there. I think I'm gonna create a little grass growing up here next to this tree using the heel. Yeah. See how we're creating some distance back there, just scratching in. We can come back through there and just touch. Give it the illusion there's some little red wildflowers growing back in there. Right on top of the grass there. Give it a little color. There we go. One of the biggest things that I learned when I was doing this the first time is you have to make sure the paint is thin enough, and you also have to make sure that you're just barely tapping. You want to create something, I mean, it's no pressure hardly at all. I mean, very, very, very little pressure in there. All right. Maybe one more little thing down in here. We want to just. All right. Well, I think this came out pretty good. So I think with that, we can take our old liner brush here. Let's see. Put a little of the paint thinner on it. Come into some of this come into some of the red. And we just want it to be almost like water there. Like I said, I signed my initials, but you do whatever you would like. All right. And so with that, we got ourselves a nice little painting here. So go to the YouTube channel, go to the website. Make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate y'all watching again. You know, let me see some of the paintings if you go and try it yourself. Send them on my way. It's FreeForm Painting 8@gmail.com. I want to see them. But until then, find some peace through painting, and find some rest in Christ. And I'll see y'all next time.